Not long ago, the engines on the Albuquerque Railway had been worried that the work was once too much for them to handle, but now with the addition of 2 extra engines, Clyde and Vinnie, the workload became much lighter for everyone. Well, almost everyone. I haven't even been here for a week and I feel like my pistons are gonna fall off. That's just 'cause you're a lazy engine. Well, I'd like to be a lazy engine, but the workload here is ridiculous. You shunt cars, then you get to rest. What is hard about that? The sun gets too hot. Even resting is a pain. Oh, boo-hoo. Imagine dragging my slow, heavy goods trains from here in North Valley all the way to South Valley. That's over 12 miles from here. Not only that, but I have to make pit stops at every station as well. Simple enough. Sure it is. But I warn you, it ain't a job for weaker engines, let alone tank engines. I'll do it tomorrow. Watch me. Alright, I'll watch and laugh at you. You won't go far, I can guarantee that. Although Vinnie knew he was lazy, he still wanted to prove he could do any job just as well as Clyde. Then it's set. I'll pull the goods train, and you can kick back and relax. Deal. Early the next morning, Fowler got back from shunting Vinnie's train when a couple of cars began chattering to him eagerly.
Fowler, please excuse, but have you heard the latest news? The game's afoot, the scene is set, a most outrageous kind of bet.
Fowler looked confused and rolled his eyes at the excitable cars. What are you going on about?
The engines that were here last night, with Clyde so broad and Vinnie slight, their argument was rather major. Seems they made some kind of wager. Vinnie setting out to prove he's strong as Clyde and apt to move a fully laden cargo train, an engine small with smaller brain. Just like that, so little warning, showdown is this very morning. Now's no time for hesitation. Take us to Tranquila Station.
Fowler was shocked to hear the car's story. Was this true? Vinnie was going to try pulling a goods train. Well, no goods will come to that, he thought to himself. As he was about to set off for Tranquila by himself, the cars were still chattering.
Take us, Fowler, take us, Fowler, take us, Fowler.
And so it was that Fowler began his journey towards Tranquila Station with 2 cars in tow. It didn't take long for them to reach the railway's northernmost station, and the cars were still whispering when they arrived, excited to be taken on an extra trip. But when they got there, not a soul was in sight. You silly cars, there isn't anyone here. Are you quite sure this is the place? Hey, Vinnie, wake up. Vinnie, wakey, wakey. Vinnie, you're late. What? Oh dear, I overslept. Vinnie quickly got his firebox warmed up and hurried to join the awaiting train. As he coupled to the front of the train, he eyed it up and down. Fowler was watching from aside. I've seen longer. Clyde chuffed up next to Vinnie and watched as he tried pulling the train. Watch this, Clyde. Just how well I can work. You'll see. Clyde rolled his eyes as Vinnie took up a strain. But the heavy train wouldn't move. Vinnie's wheels began to slip and slip the harder he tried to pull, the more he lost his grip on the rails. And then suddenly, just like that, the chain snapped and Vinnie went flying. Get me out, please. Help did come about an hour later with Robert in the breakdown crane. Vinnie, need I remind you you're a saddle tank engine that shunts? No, sir. Need I also remind you that you're not a goods locomotive? No, sir. Okay, then. I expect you to not pull any goods trains of any sort like that again unless I say. Of course, sir. Sorry, sir. Later that evening, Dan and Vinnie were resting in the goods yards, readying themselves for a night's rest. So I hear you tried a goods train, eh? Yeah, it didn't go too well. I thought so. I remembered back when I pulled my first goods trains, I almost came off the rails because I thought cars wouldn't do anything to me. But they did. Pushed me along and almost flung me off. You had trouble pulling cars, but you're like perfect at this stuff. Everyone starts somewhere, my dear Vinnie. You'll learn your strength. It just takes time. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for helping me, Dan. Of course, buddy. Vinnie smiled warmly, and the two settled in for their night's rest. It had been a long and quite embarrassing day for the little shunter, but at least Dan was there to help him feel better once again. And Vinnie drifted off to sleep, feeling very lucky to have Dan as a friend.